Good morning, welcome back to my channel. Today, early this morning, I just arrived at International Airport in Beijing, where I flew out to Europe 10 years ago, and I lived, worked, and studied in Europe for 10 years without ever coming back. So it was very exciting for me to be back again and preparing myself for a reverse culture shock. Sunrise! I know things are gonna be different here in Beijing because 10 years time people have changed, things has changed, companies, societies, cultures has changed, the art has changed as well, and I'm gonna spend 1 month here rediscovering my city, working on this exciting new project about building an art school in China. So I'm overly excited and also a bit tired from the jet lag. It was a 10-hour straight flight. I flew on Air China. The flight itself was very smooth. I really enjoyed their onboard services, especially their entertainment services. I binge watched all their movies, especially this movie, A Star is Born, is a movie I was trying to watch for such a long time. I knew this movie is about a journey of an artist, so I want to totally watch it for me, for my own curiosity about the new interpretation of Lady Gaga as an artist herself, how she could bring a part of herself into this movie. And also at the same time, I knew it is about a romance, it's entertaining, I knew it was a remake. So genuinely, I enjoyed this movie, but I do have a problem with this story, with the way that this movie and many other movies portrayed artists in general. No matter visual artists, performing artists, just artists in general, they're trying to say artists are bad at mathematics, artists are starving and bankrupting, artists are waiting tables and getting by, artists are drug addicts, alcoholics. Artists are just artists, and art is just a profession, it's a career path, and I think there are as many drug-abused non-artists as artists. I mean, the chances are, if you are artists, that you are alcoholics, is the same as if you are any other profession, like, I don't know, firefighters or a policeman, I don't know, making art doesn't make you more vulnerable to substance abuse. I think by portraying artists as substance abusers repeatedly, it's gonna give the next generation a wrong impression that it is okay for artists to do that. But in fact, it is not okay for artists or for any other people to do that. I'm happy to be back in China. It's a society that there is zero tolerance to substance addiction or abuse or any sort of intake of drugs. And I was curious about how Chinese film fans watch this movie and review this movie. And since now I'm in China, I think it's also relevant to see how other people see it. I don't know if this person is a man or woman. He wrote that it was a 5-star music but 1-star story. This movie, instead of calling it A Star is Born, why not call it a mid-aged loser's fantasy that he can use his gross flirting skills, make a talented woman to worship him long and forever. So basically, he has a problem, or she has a problem with the way the movie portrayed women against men. He could achieve everything as a male, as an addicted male that should not be tolerated in any story, in any relationship, and he could still arrive where he is and be loved for who he is, although who he is shall not or ever be accepted. Okay. I don't completely agree with this review or this person who is reviewing this movie. Of course, nobody's perfect. If this artist has some problems, and we should treat it like any other problems, like an illness or mental illness. Let's treat alcoholism like cancer. Not because you have cancer, all your contribution in the art world or in whatever domain that you are contributing to the humanity doesn't count anymore because you have an illness or condition. I think we should still see alcoholism or any kind of substance abuse as a condition, as a medical condition, and if someone's self-medicating and perhaps this person needs help, needs medical assistance. And instead of morally, let's say, bashing this person, this artist, saying, oh, you're an abuser, your art is drug art, let's ban everything together. And I do find that in China, because we are a society with zero drug tolerance, and you could face up to capital penalty if you carry cocaine or crystal or hard drugs. I agree with the law in the term that it shall never be allowed to transport and sell such drugs. but in many ways that I think morally we should give more tolerance, but legally not. And in China, if artist like singer does drugs and caught even doing marijuana, like soft drugs in many countries are legal, this person is going to be in jail, his art will be banned and not allowed to circulate, and every movie that with him involved could potentially, if it has not been screened already, could be potentially removed from the public broadcasting lists for this guy being featured. So it's a big problem for everybody in the team. It's a big problem for this person's career, and let's say he is ruined. Like it's like a suicide. It's suicidal to do drugs. Of course, the authority is trying to say that we have zero tolerance. You should never do drugs, especially if you're a public figure like a famous artist. You shall not allow yourself to do that and influence millions of people, young kids, to follow your footsteps. I get the idea, but I think we should still treat the addiction as some kind of medical condition. And obviously, you're not gonna say, "Oh, you have cancer, we will lock you in jail and your movie cannot be screened ever." So let's just treat such addiction like normally. And let's treat artists' addiction normally, like a medical condition, and to be more tolerant, to be more inclusive to people who abuse, inclusive morally, but not inclusive legally. And I do believe that law enforcement should do something. For example, in the movie, it was saying that, oh, it was a police bar that, it was allowed to serve alcohol all night and every day, and obviously it was not okay, and perhaps they should have some kind of restrictions if alcohol is a problem, and if drug is a problem, some restrictions as well to consume everything, with moderation, with control. So during my trip, all I thought about is artists' struggle against drug and alcohol addiction. And I don't know what is your idea about it. I don't know if you have a difficult situation like this as well. I mean, personally, I don't have any moral judgment against people who has addiction. Perhaps they just need help. Okay, so I will keep you guys posted what I will do in China, and tomorrow I will start working on this brand new project, building an art school in China, and I'm gonna head to bed and get some sleep. I'll see you in the next video.